What is it like for you? How does it feel to physically regain some of that strength back that you had lost doing things that before you couldn't do?
It's life-changing. I didn't know want to live a few years ago. I didn't think I was going to live. I called my parents and said, yeah, I'm not going to make it through this year. Make sure my wife and kids are taken care of. And then to now have a life where I feel like I could live a long life, I'm going to.
And then how many years have you been coming here?
I started last December, so it's only been 9 months.
You'll hit a year before you know it.
Oh yeah, it's been amazing. I was diagnosed in September of 2019 with a very rare neurological disorder called Multiple System Atrophy. Never heard of it. The dozens and dozens of doctors I've seen in ERs and everywhere else, never heard of it. They'd look it up. It's that rare. So I'm pretty special. I heard a great description of it. It's like Parkinson's and ALS had an evil child, because it's a lot of different issues that affect both of those. It's Parkinsonian in nature, a lot of similar things. He told me the diagnosis. I said, well, at least it's not Parkinson's. My own doctor said, well, I'd rather have Parkinson's than what you have. And I thought for a second. I said, well, at least it's not MS. And he goes, it's much worse. Thanks, Doc.
Thanks for the positive.
Thanks for the positive stuff, you know. It's a horrible disease. When you read about it, it's terminal, no cure, nothing for it. I was told to try and ride the bike for half an hour a day. That's it. So I went on my own journey to try and find stuff. I tried for years, all kinds of different things that didn't work. And then I finally found something, which was meditation. Went to a week-long Dr. Joe Dispenza event in Cancun, Mexico. Saved my life. I was at the lowest point. I watched Stories of Transformation on his website, started crying, like, I got to go see him. I got back in early 22, and I was feeling so good mentally. That year was actually one of my worst physically, but I at least believed I could get better. I started a podcast. It was very therapeutic to just talk about what I was going through. Also something for my wife and kids to remember me by, because I was still, you know, I was believing that this is terminal and I'm not going to be around here much longer. I started a foundation. The podcast and the foundation have very original names. It's the Sandy Hawn Podcast and the Sandy Hawn Foundation. So, and the podcast is now called The Sandy Hawn Show. We're kind of rebranding it. Got a website, sandyhawn.com. I put all the videos. So it's been 4 years of doing videos, trying to help and show some positivity, give people, inspiring them. And again, that year, 22, by the end of that year, I was bedridden and my body just shut down. I couldn't move. My trainer was really more of a physical therapist, came to the house every day just to move while I'm in bed, trying to move my legs to get me to be able to even get out of bed to try and do some exercises. It was awful, but I kept meditating, believing that I could get better. Finally started in 23, started to feel a little better. And then by that summer, I started playing golf again. I used to be a really good golfer. I have a special golf cart that stands me up called a Solo Rider. I never thought I'd golf again. I started golfing again. And I can probably beat most people who can walk on two legs. Not all of them, but some. I can still play pretty good. So that was 23. I still wasn't driving. I still had a lot of issues, difficult to move. 24, things started getting better. That summer I was driving again, and I worked my butt off from working out, doing all kinds of different things, from cold plunges, a lot of biohacking, alternative stuff, because there was nothing out there, nothing. So I kept going, and then end of 24, I felt really good, but I got away from meditation, got into some bad habits. I fell, thought I shattered my ankle, I couldn't move, so I lost my independence. Went into deep depression, and then at the end of that month, I'm like, I get it back into meditation. And then I worked so hard, meditate every morning, every night. 25 was a really good year. I started to keep doing more things and more things. And I've listed everything I've done on my website. I'm not selling anything. I'm trying to give back to others. I'm communicating with people on every continent in the world now who are saying, what are you doing? A lot of them can't talk. They lose their voice. My voice, I had all kinds of issues, 26 different symptoms all at the same time. Did not want to live. But then things changed in each year, but I worked my butt off. So it's really kind of a three-pronged approach where meditation, working out. I come here 3 days a week. I love it. It's like family. Marie and Dominic, it's gonna make me cry. I go another 2 days a week to my personal trainer, Tanya Watkins, who saved my life. We're gonna be doing some free classes, events of stretching. She trains people who are in wheelchairs, can't move, and we're trying to coordinate with Marie as well, somewhere to do a free event for anyone in Cleveland. Caregivers, people in wheelchairs, people with movement of hope. Because that's where I was. And it took starting to just move. And eventually now I'm boxing. I'm here. A lot of times after a good workout, I feel so good, I just start walking around without this thing. And when I started here last December, there's a harness. It's kind of like a bounce around, like a little baby, it goes on my legs and my shoulders, and she hooks me to a harness. And so I used to use that for everything, from warming up to other exercises to boxing. Last Saturday, I didn't use it at all. First time. And so again, the biggest issue that's transformed me, I was feeling pretty good at the end of last year. When I started here, I wish I would have come here earlier. I'd heard about it, but me and Maria hit it off very quick. I love her and in this place. But in February 21st, I went to Tijuana, Mexico to do the world's most powerful psychedelic called Ibogaine. It's been in the news. Trump signed an executive order fast-tracking it because it's doing miraculous things for people, especially me. But it's not just one thing. It's all these things, from biohacking, meditation, working my butt off, and the Ibogaine. I got back and 4 more symptoms disappeared. I don't take prescriptions for my tremors. They're virtually gone. My speech is better now than it was before I got sick. My business partner told me, they think, what the hell's going on here? All my friends are like, your speech is so good. No pills. Several of the symptoms that I had, even last year when I was feeling good, a big one was inability to regulate your body temperature. So I would get out of nowhere, just sweating my butt off. Then I'd get nauseous, and then I get tired and lay down. That would happen every other month. And then afterwards, I was fine. That hasn't happened since I got back. And I took a little break from doing the podcast previously, but a year ago I started up again. I found 2 people who were diagnosed with MSA after me, a year and 2 years after. They both died 2 years ago. And that floored me emotionally. And I'm like, why am I still here? And it was the guilt. And I meditated on it, and the next morning I got to start doing a podcast again, doing videos. So I've been doing that every week. Everything I've done is on the website, from working out, all these other biohacking things, Elemental Wellness Club in West, I could do a cold plunge, infrared sauna, other things there, unbelievable community. I love this place. I mean, it's a Wednesday in August. I should be golfing. Normally I would be. I don't miss this. I'm golfing. I'll golf tomorrow. This is too important. So you got to make some sacrifices and work your butt off, but you can feel better when everything people say online in these so-called support groups is you can't get better. This is terminal. How your brain's disintegrating. You can't regrow your brain. What am I doing? And so much so that now we're going to start documenting everything. We've got research scientists, because Western medicine, they have no interest in this. I've asked them to. They're not doing anything. So I started documenting myself. And now after going to Ambia Life Sciences and doing Ibogaine, I'm like, whoa, something's happening here. This needs to be studied. So they have old brain scans, They're going to do new brain scans, and I'm going to go back again later this year and do it again. I think it's going to be tremendous improvement. But again, it's not just that. For me, that was a catalyst to just go straight up. I was feeling pretty good, like I said before, but it was a lot of hard work. And since I got back from doing that, I've worked even harder, working out here. I mean, when I work out, I'm drenched. I have to bring an extra shirt because I am just soaked. But I'd love it. I just feel so good. I want to keep giving back and helping others to be able to do the things that I've been doing.
You said you were diagnosed in 2019.
September 2019.
Okay. What were some of the first symptoms you noticed where you were like, okay, I might need to go to a doctor?
Balance, slurred speech, writing. I couldn't hold a pen. You know, I still have minor tremors. It's still hard for me to hold a pen and to type. You know, it's not seamless. I still have issues. I'm not healed. I'm not cured. I'm no doctor. I'm something what I'm saying. That's what a lot of people. Oh, you don't know what you're doing. You must have misdiagnosed. No, I had 2 top neurologists in Cleveland diagnose me, one in 2019, another one because I thought I'm getting better. I am. They did another DAT scan and it said the same thing. Still abnormal. It's like, I don't understand this. How are your symptoms better? I'm like, well, now I got research scientists. We're going to do scans. I'll look at all those scans, do some more now, keep documenting everything I'm doing to try and help others. Give them some scientific, as opposed to me just yapping on a podcast saying, yeah, I'm feeling great, which I want to do to be positive because there's nothing else hopeful or positive out there about MSA. It's so negative and doom and gloom. I'm like, no, don't. It's your mindset first. Once you can believe that you can get better and you work your butt off, and then of course, yeah, I began in my case, but I know it's not for everyone. So it's not just one thing. It's all this stuff collective together that's got me to feel as good as I do.
When you first got the diagnosis, you talk about your mindset now and how you're hopeful and positive. In that moment when you first received that diagnosis, what's going through your mind?
I'm screwed. I actually, on the drive home, my wife and I met down there, had separate cars, then came back, and I came down. I was upstairs and saw her on the phone crying, talking to someone. I'm like, what's wrong? And she just looked at me. I'm like, oh, this is nothing. It'll be fine. I went upstairs and I looked up multiple system atrophy. I'm like, oh, I am screwed. This is bad. And everything else I looked at from support, there wasn't anything. That's why I created a foundation so people, somewhere they can go for hope and inspiration and not doom and gloom. So yeah, my mindset was awful. It was 2 years and I kept poo-pooing meditation. I saw Dr. Joe on various documentaries and I loved all the other doctors, all holistic stuff and what they talked about, but I poo-pooed that until 2 years in, the symptoms progressed quickly. I went from diagnosis, I started using a cane within a month. You know, within a year, I've started using this thing, and I use this for safety. It's just a little, like my little blanket, but I can walk without it. But of course, if I'm in a crowd, if somebody bumps into me, I'm going down. So it was 2 years into it, my trainer sent me a text about Dr. Joe Dispenza. I started bawling and telling my wife, you gotta look at this stuff. And she said, well, if it's making you sad, stop watching. I said, no, this is hope. I got to go see him. Because I watched these stories of transformation of people told they got 2 months to live from cancer, brain cancer, bone cancer, and they healed themselves. These are real stories on his website. I've seen these people at the events. It makes me emotional talking about it. And now I'm on this website as a story of transformation, telling my story. And that was last fall before I even heard about Ibogaine. It's gotten even better since.
How did you find this gym?
There's 2 gentlemen here, John Como and Mike Loparo, who've been coming for years. I had them on a podcast years ago, and they had told me about it. And I thought, boxing? How am I going to box? I can't even stand. And then last fall, I'm like, no, I think I want to try this out. came in and I talked to Maria for like an hour. We just hit it off and talked about music and laughter, movies, and just like, I think I'm gonna like this lady. Now I love her. And so first time I came, they had to do an evaluation, and I was still struggling physically. This is the hardest class that they have, I guess. I didn't know that until recently. And I told them at the beginning, you won't see me on Saturday. I'm not a morning person. Again, I still have issues. Sleep is a big one. I was up till 4 in the morning last night watching a movie because I couldn't sleep. I haven't been a morning person, but I don't miss Saturdays. I'm here. I've missed a few, but not many. Because it's that, just the commitment and wanting to do that work and not let these guys down.
What are some of the changes you were able to notice in yourself physically when you started coming here, and how soon did you notice that?
It was significant quickly. The first few months using the harness, I just felt better. I mean, just moving and sweating. But then again, when I got back from Mexico, that's when things really escalated to the point where we had an event for my foundation and did a little video where Maria and Dom were talking, and they said, boy, can't wait to see what he's going to do next. And she said, oh, I think next year he won't need the harness. He'll be walking. He might even be a trainer. And Dom's like, yeah, he's going to be doing speeches. And remember Natalie saying, I saw that video, and then she said next year. It's been a month, and I already groomed the harness. I just stood on my own, and I'm not lightly hitting this thing. I'm trying to knock it over, and I'm sweating my butt off, and I just felt so stable. So it's really meant the world to me, and I would recommend it to anyone with any sort of neurodegenerative. This place is amazing.
What is it like for you? How does it feel to physically regain some of that strength back that you had lost, doing things that before you couldn't do?
It's life-changing. I didn't want to live a few years ago. I didn't think I was going to live. I called my parents and said, yeah, I'm not going to make it through this year. Make sure my wife and kids are taken care of. And then to now have a life where I feel like I could live a long life, I'm going to. I'm so motivated to keep working hard and giving back to let people know that it can happen. Even when you're bedridden and not wanting to live, fight back, don't give up. And even if it starts with small stretches, which we're going to do an event coming in a few weeks. Love it if you could show up for that. It's going to be free for everyone, again, from caregivers and with a wheelchair to start with the stretches I did and then build up and show what I can do now, because what I can do now is pretty intense. But I love it. And that's what it took to get back to here, but you got to start somewhere.
What's it been like for you to find community here?
It's like a second family. I mean, it's everything I'm doing. It's been so cool, from meditation and the community there, working out, the community here, working out with Tanya and all her friends, the iBeginning community, all these things together, different communities of people. And I'm lucky enough for us to be part of each one of them, but each one is very, very important. I mean, I was telling someone it's kind of like a three-legged stool. You pull one off, it's going down. So it's meditation, working out, and iBeginning is what's gotten me to where I am. And I'm going to just keep sharing my story and hope that it inspires someone, not just MSA or any neurodegenerative disease. It affects two of the biggest symptoms I had were anxiety and depression. Never had those before in my life. In fact, I didn't even believe they were real. See all the commercials? Like, just snap out at people. It's real and it's paralyzing. And it was worse than a lot of the physical ones. I don't have that anymore. And that's through meditation and all these things that I'm doing, working out. I just live. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm grateful every morning just to be living. And I want to dedicate the rest of my life to what I'm doing is the foundation to help others to try and feel better. Because, I mean, while this is a very rare disease, the audience for that is minimal, although it seems to be growing. So I'm, again, communicating with a lot of people. Unfortunately, I have to text them because I can't understand them. They can't talk. It's heartbreaking. But there's a lot of people dealing with anxiety and depression. And I know all the things I've done, meditation, working out, will help that. Absolutely. I can't promise it's going to help as much as they did me, that you're going to improve this much, but even a small improvement, if 10% improvement when you're not wanting to live in bed is life-changing. To get to this point, I'm like, I believe I'm still here. I've got to do something. And so I'm going to keep doing that and putting everything I have into it to help.
It seems like this is like giving you a really strong purpose.
Oh, absolutely. This is like my calling. And I've had people say, keep doing what you're doing. This is your calling. I go, I feel like that. This is giving me a purpose. It started doing the podcast after I learned to meditate. That gave me something to do. I was in bed most of the day just to force me to get out and do something. Now I'm busy all day doing stuff, from playing golf, working out, doing videos. I'm loving it. What I love most is the response that other people are telling me, not just people with MSA, other issues, but just friends in general say, thank you, keep doing what you're doing. You're inspiring me. I'm not sick. I just have issues. Like everyone's got issues, especially anxiety and depression.
What advice would you give to someone that is just getting diagnosed with, whether it's MSA or something similar, but is just receiving that diagnosis and is thinking there's no hope for me here?
There is hope. Go to my website. Look at the videos. Don't look up stuff on the internet. Most support groups, they're not real supportive. Be wary. There's a few I think that are okay, and some people that mean well, but a lot of them are just not good. So stay positive on it. And I would say, learn how to meditate. Start reading some books about Dr. Joe. That's where I started. And breath work, which is very important. In fact, I was just texting somebody who just got recently diagnosed and trying to say, start here. And then build from that, build slowly. And don't expect, there's no miracles. This has been almost 7 years since I was diagnosed. Symptoms started 3 years before that. They were very mild, and they weren't very often. And I never would have thought it was this, ever. I thought it was a little vertigo or something else. But so if anyone gets that kind of diagnosis, please reach out. I'm never going to be anything but positive and hopeful after everything I've been through to feel this good. I just want them to not give up and don't listen to the noise. There's a lot of noise out there. But there's a lot of things that have worked, and I've shared them all. And there's more stuff I'm going to do that I'm going to keep sharing. Because the coolest thing is that from other people, I'm not the only one who's got this disease. While a lot of people look, it's not possible. There are others that I'm now talking to who are them sending me stuff that they tried. And I want to try and collect all that and have be a resource on the website and foundation for others, because not everything I'm doing is going to work for everyone. But other things might, so I want to share what everyone else is doing.
What do you see for your future now, as opposed to maybe 6, 7 years ago?
I'm going to live a long life. Long, long life. This disease is not killing me. I feel great. I'm going to be doing a lot of talks. I'm going to be doing TED Talks. I'm doing community events, free events, to show what I'm doing and talk about it. And I'm going to dedicate my life to that, giving back to help others try and feel better. And just, even if it's only a little bit, just don't give up. We are going to be doing